Greetings everyone, I hope you are fine, I hope you are doing well, and I would like to thank each and every one of you for taking your precious time to watch this video, even if it's for 2 minutes, 3 minutes. I really appreciate that. Irregardless of where you come from, Nigeria, Senegal, Jamaica, the United States of America, UK, I just want to say thank you very much, and I will appreciate if you can just hit that subscribe button and that like button so that the YouTube algorithm doesn't forget you, especially if you like this type of content. In this video, because I'm always concerned about the competency of black people, especially in the context of South African black people, because this is where I live, this is where I grew up, this is where I was born, and I'm familiar with how they do things, especially after they took over in 1994, and many people right now are crying. Black people right now are crying. They are like, what is happening? What is wrong with ANC? What is going on? And I'm very determined in talking about this because it's all about community building or societal building. In other words, we have to correct one another, because if we don't correct one another, is like a blind person leading another blind person, then it becomes more difficult. So in this video, I just want to talk about Senzo Mchunu in the Commission of Inquiry. I know it's something that took place around December, and I was like, no, let me just ignore it. But since I've started talking about the competency or lack of competency in our departments, in our offices, in our government, then I decided to talk about it. Because when people are caught red-handed, they will try by all means to defend themselves.
Well, the meaning in this context of immediately is not as that of switching the light, switch off that light immediately, and you go to the wall, you do so. That is why, from where I sit, immediately can't be read alone in the directives. It needs to be read with what I requested from the National Commissioner, saying, go and prepare the preliminary report, and then also later, after the preliminary report, there should be MINESCO. MINESCO is where minister and deputy minister, that is ministry, sit with top management, so that we consider what I have taken a decision on immediately.
Let me repeat this. When people are caught red-handed, maybe you caught someone stealing in your own house or in your own property, they will try by all means to justify, to define that they are not stealing, but they were taking. In other words, they were going to ask, or you were not there, so they didn't get an opportunity to ask you. So they decided that they should just come in or jump the fence, because probably you were going to allow them to do so. So they will try by all means to justify. So this is what I believe Mr. Mchunu was trying to do by explaining immediately, or the word immediately, the way he defined it. So I'm trying by, in other words, I believe that he was trying by all means to run away from the truth or to defend himself like a person who's been caught red-handed. So in other words, Mr. Mchunu was about to concede. I don't want to say he has conceded, because I know how the system operates. They might try by all means to protect him or to get him out of this situation. But it's like he's trying by all means to protect himself or not to concede. But already his feet are already on a try line and he's about to concede. So he's trying by all means not to concede. Why? Why are we so defensive? It's because we don't want to be held accountable. We don't want to be corrected. And again, we don't know how to use our power under control. Every time when we are in power, we want to use our power out of control. And we should not adopt that character as black people. It doesn't mean if you are a minister, if you have money, in other words, you have to use your power out of control. You should always learn to use your power under control. This is important because if you use your power under control, it will be easy for you to admit your mistakes. It will be easy for you to respect your office. That is why I'm not only just talking about competency, that you are competent, you have a degree, you have a master's, you have a PhD, you have experience, but we are also talking about loyalty, faithfulness, accountability, taking an oath to protect the citizens of the country, to protect the people, in other words, so that people can trust you. This is what is needed. This is what is wanted. These are the kinds of people we want in our positions or in these positions. But if you are going to undermine your oath, this is how you will behave. For an example, if you can go to countries like Russia, whenever those people take an oath, even in UK, even in China, when these people take an oath, they understand what it means. They even understand the consequences. They know the consequences of going against the oath. But when it comes to us, we take the oath lightly. I'm not saying we don't have competent people. In my previous video, I spoke about many people who are competent, but unfortunately, they don't have a chance. They are not given a chance to demonstrate themselves or to prove themselves that they can do the proper job. But many people that we have, 99.99%, who have occupied all these positions, they are not competent. And the worst thing, they don't respect the oath. Even those who are competent, they are also not respecting the oath that they have taken. In other words, the moment you feel like now you can, for an example, get this money, you can use this money anyhow, you go ahead and do it. You forget about the oath because there are no consequences. No one is going to hold you accountable because even those who are leading you, they also undermine the oath. They don't even understand what does the oath means. What they know is help me God. They don't even understand what it means to protect the affairs of your own country. That is why I always say, love yourself. Because if you don't love yourself, this is how you behave. You end up behaving like this. In the name of being in power, in the name of being in control. We all love power. We all love control. But it's important to exercise your power it's important to exercise your power under control. Don't exercise your power out of control because you end up acting like a bully. because you don't want anyone to correct you. You don't want to admit your mistakes. So that is why at the end of the day, you have to go to an extent whereby the whole 11 minutes or 10 minutes or 20 minutes, you are trying to give a definition that doesn't even exist. This is something which is very, very painful. South Africa right now, to be honest, is going down. Is going down because it's led by people who are not competent. I know there are those who are like, South Africa is improving. South Africa keeps on improving. You have to identify those areas. Those areas in private sector, in government, tell us, where are we improving? Where are we improving? Because as long as we are led by such leaders, in other words, we will go down. I know they might have lied to you by saying South Africa is the biggest country or is the richest country in Africa or is the best country in Africa. But when I use my analysis or my predictions, I can tell that right now as we speak, South Africa is going down. The reason it's going down because people are voting for incompetency. People believe in incompetency. No one wants to associate themselves with competent people because they will start asking you questions and you don't want to answer those questions. You don't want to be held accountable. So this is what is happening. So that is why I'm like, we have to correct one another when we make mistakes. That is why in this channel I'm like, we celebrate those who do well, but we also hold one another accountable, because it's very important to do so, because if we don't correct one another, then who will? This is very important. It's time for people to wake up. And if you believe in voting, I don't believe in voting. If you believe in voting, in other words, you have to vote for competent people, or you need to start asking your leaders about competency. They have to prove to you by any means that they are competent. Because what I see right now, this is a mess. This is a mess. And at the end of the day, you can tell that no one is going to prison. No one is going to prison. These people will tell that now, you see, this commission is working. Many people will be arrested. With this commission right now, they are also saying the very same thing, that many people will be arrested. No one is going to jail here. No one is going to jail. Why I say this is because if all of us, we are corrupt, who is going to hold others accountable? Who is going to punish those who are not doing well? Who is going to correct our mistakes? If all of us, we hate accountability, these are the things that we should talk about before voting for these people. Because right now as we speak, unemployment when it comes to youth is about 40-something%. Maybe 50%. But just because now they are scared, or they don't want to scare you that much, that is why they are like, maybe it's 33%, 32%, something like that. But when it comes to reality, there are many people who are not working. There are many people who are not working. In other words, right now, people are suffering. So they have come up with various alternatives, different strategies, and those strategies are not working, because whenever they implement a strategy, there's someone who wants to take that money. Who is empowering small businesses? We always hear about small business funding. But who is getting these funds? Who can attest and say, you know what, I always get funding? Who can come up with that testimony, that kind of testimony? It's only maybe 1% or 2% of all entrepreneurs who are running businesses. I don't even want to talk about tenderpreneurs, because that's not even a business development or business empowerment. Because when it comes to tenderpreneurs, tenderpreneurs are wicked. Most tenderpreneurs are wicked, man. It's a topic for another day. From now on, I believe all of us, we can take a responsibility to do our own homework, so that every time when these leaders come to us looking for votes, we can ask them about serious things. When they promise us food parcels, when they promise us social pension funds and all these things, let's just ask them, like for an example, serious questions. Even when they promise us like maybe job creation and everything, we shouldn't be quick to believe. Let's just maybe come up with serious questions about the strategies that they are going to use to create employment. Because it's very difficult to believe these people. As I come to the end of this video, because I don't want this video to be long, because this video was all about like Mr. Senzo Mchunu giving his weird explanation of the word immediately. And I can see that this is the highest level of incompetency. And I just want to say thank you very much for watching this video to this level. And if you like this type of content whereby we empower our community, we empower our people with knowledge, we teach one another, we correct one another, please hit that subscribe button and hit that like button, so that the YouTube algorithm doesn't forget you. Thank you.